What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. I'm going to focus in on Eric Staal and what tomorrow holds for him, as he'll be a free agent for the first time at noontime. But, it's one of those weird things when they traded him. I just assumed he's going to go back to Carolina, like Glenn Wesley did back in, was it 2004? Or whatever the year it was when he got traded and re-signed with the Canes that summer. I assumed it was going to be like that. That's not the case. Ron Francis pretty much said it's not happening. So it's, it's tough knowing like you won't see him in a Canes uniform next year. And I know when he got traded to the Rangers, that could have been the reality, but it's just weird. I mean, I know his productivity's declined. He's not the player he was a few years ago, but you just always associated him with that franchise, and the fact he's not going to be there, it's like holy shit. And it's kind of like really just setting in now. And I think going a step further, there's going to be suitors for him. I mean, I said in my quick rundown, I thought he's going to end up I think he'll end up in Chicago on a league minimum contract because he wants to win a second Stanley Cup. He's been playing on some real dog shit teams over the years, so the opportunity to go to Chicago, play for a franchise like that, and take a lesser role and lesser money, I think would be, advantageous for him as a hockey player. Because again, I don't think the offers out there. No one's going to be offering him. He'll be 32 in November. His productivity's declined. He had 13 goals last year. He's more of a big name without big productivity, and I think if you can get him, on a 1 year, $2 to $3 million contract, I think that'd be, best. I think Chicago is where he'll end up, but I think Nashville will kick the tires on him. I think Anaheim will kick the tires on him. The New York Islanders and the Florida Panthers. Those would be the teams as a depth player. And you notice, all those teams are pretty good. They were all, playoff teams last year. They're all, for the most part, Chicago, Anaheim, Nashville, Florida, they're all contenders. So I think, again, he'd take less money there to, be a middle to bottom six guy and, compete for another cup. And, I think in all those places there's some level of familiarity. I know he was coached by Peter Laviolette in Carolina, not that far from Raleigh. In Anaheim he played with Getzlaf and Perry at the Olympics. In Florida, a lot of those guys, I think they'll be on Andrew Ladd too. So the Florida Panthers will. So there's a former Carolina thing going on, and likewise in Chicago, played with Taves at the Olympics. The Islanders, they're an up and coming team. So we'll see. And again, he's lived in New York for the last 4 months, so not that far of a commute. So again, there's just different levels of familiarity there. But I think the Minnesota Wild too, I'm going to throw that in because they're actually, I believe, the closest geographical team to Thunder Bay, Ontario. They could use a big center, and if they get him, we'll be able to ask friend of the show, Charlie Coyle, what he thinks. So hopefully that happens tomorrow for y'all's entertainment. But anyway, that's all I got this episode of the Power Play with CJ. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the off season and beyond. Later, guys.